at 145 on running point. It's Carey Palermo from Cardinal Mooney. Every time we bring it on, it's got to be at 145, Coach. It gives you good mojo. We know that.
Absolutely. This is the lucky spot.
Coach, I mean, this is the first edition of Coach's Corner with Carey Palermo from Mooney basketball, head boys basketball skipper. And Coach, how are practices looking for your guys right now? I know you've been able to get maybe a couple under your belt now. What are things looking like?
It's going great. I mean, we have 6 returning seniors that all have started, over 15 games in their career. Some of our 2 of our seniors, Rocco and Ashton, have been starting since their sophomore year. Practices have been great. They've been very competitive. Most of our players play multiple sports, and unfortunately for them, I think their seasons ended probably a little bit before they wanted to, which was unfortunate. But the flip side of it, they were able to get a week off of rest. And, we had everybody in the gym on, November 3rd. I'm trying to think of the first official day of practice. They're going really good right now. Our first scrimmage is Saturday, and we're ready to go.
Coach, in the summer, you make a lot of building blocks to get yourself to this point, but these next 2 weeks are just all about fine-tuning and tightening things up, getting ready for game 1. What are some of the goals and checkpoints you want to see your team meet in these next couple of weeks before game 1?
So the first thing, and we've talked about this every day, is just stacking days and getting better every single day. Our goal always at Cardinal Mooney is to be playing our best basketball the last game of the year. We don't want to peak right now, but we want to get better every day. That's my number one goal. And really just like this whole first week or so, we focused on our man offense, man defense, and with 6 seniors and all of our guys, especially our underclassmen are all with us in the summer, which is very fortunate. Getting them on the same page, which that really hasn't been a struggle. Getting our man offense in the first couple of weeks, and we're a pressing team. Our 1-2-2 press is a big part of what we do. And, really like day 2, we were able to kind of, I don't want to say install, but just review that. And, that's what we're doing right now.
We were just talking with a coach with one tough conference in the AAC. I feel the Steel Valley Conference is equally tough in that you don't know who's gonna come out on top of it. Talk about where you guys are gonna fare in the Steel Valley Conference and the type of competition you're gonna see from the other 3.
Well, all 4 schools in the Steel Valley Conference are extremely competitive. The All-American Conference, I think, is one of the best conferences in our area. I think the SVC is better. I just think you could see that with the postseason success that all the schools have had and just our record against those other opponents. But I would say the AAC and the SVC are definitely the 2 best, and we all play one another too because we want to play against the best teams. It's very tough. You're like you said, you never know with all the kids transferring. There's a lot of transfers that go on now in high school sports. I think there's been a trickle-down effect of what you see at the college ranks. So, the schools in our conference, there's 2, 3, 4 transfers every year. So you never know who's coming. You think guys graduate, and then all of a sudden, there's new players that come in, and then there's a few good coaches in our conference. So they're tough to prepare against.
Coach, we always like to have like a meet the team segment on these season preview interviews where you go down your roster, you let us know who's going to be big contributors to your team this year, and you introduce us to your squad.
So it's really like every senior on our team. I guess I'll just start like from the positions. Our point guard, Jabri Carter, he's coming back. He was an all-county player, all-NEO player. He had a tremendous summer. He's getting a lot of looks from Division II and Division III colleges. I think he's a guy that is a scholarship basketball player. He had a tremendous season for us. He really came into his own about the 7th or 8th game of the year and really kind of stabilized that position for us. I'm looking for a tremendous year out of him. Ashton O'Brien is another senior. He'll be a 3-year starter for us. He led our team in scoring last year. He was all-state, all-conference, all-county, all that stuff. He's a guy that we're going to lean on his experience and just his ability to make shots. I'm expecting a great season out of him. He had a big football season. Another senior, Rocco Turner, another guy will be a 3-year starter for us. He's a state championship golfer. The other guys, he just hit a ton of big shots in his career. Our regional final run a couple of years ago, I think him and Ashton were our leading scorers that whole run. He's another guy we'll lean on his experience. We have Eddie Nieves. He's a kid only got to play half the season last year because he transferred in. He's 6'4", 6'5". We play him at the 4, but he's really a wing player. Very athletic kid, shoots the ball extremely well, can guard positions 1 through 5. I'm really excited to see him for a full season. When he was eligible last year, we were like 8-3. We finished 15-11, and I thought our kids really competed after he was ineligible. But he brings a different dynamic to our team that I really haven't had in my. This is going into my 8th year coaching there. He'll be a tremendous player for us. Nick Pregabon is a guy who started over 20 games last year. He's another all-state soccer player. Just an incredible competitor. He can handle the ball a little bit. Good shooter, tremendous defender. A kid who just leaves everything on the floor. He's a guy who could, if you need him to score, he could score. If you want him to guard, the best guard, he could do it. Another kid, Will Desmond, who's an all-conference. I'm sure he'll probably be close to all-state football player. Will Desmond's about 6'3" post player. Just a tough, rugged kid. Not afraid to be physical. Maybe pushes it a little too far every now and then, but I like it. He'll be a big player for us. Started a number of games for us. It's just all these guys, the seniors, they're just very, very, very competitive kids. Kids that spend a lot of time working at their craft. They've all played multiple sports, which you don't see that this day and age. Like kids tend to specialize, and they have the ball handling coach, the fitness trainer, and all that stuff. This is a very like old school style of team, which I like. They're just very competitive, and they've been through it. I mean, they've we've had we didn't really have an up and down season. We had a good season, but there were times where these guys had to learn because they were inexperienced. They were very determined, and they remembered a lot of last year. I thought they had a successful season. To them, losing the district championship, that didn't sit very well with them. How we finished in the SVC, they have a very good memory. Some of the non-seniors, we had 2 junior transfers. Marvin Dubas from Lowville, he's about a 6'3", 6'4", 230-pound post player. He's having a really good first couple of weeks. Another football kid. Nico Genova, kid transferred in for us from Poland. A very good ball handler, very good shooter, very, very skilled player. We're looking for a lot out of him. Some sophomores I want to highlight. Dante Turner, Rocco's younger brother, kind of the same mold as him. Just a very, very headstrong kid, good shooter, plays with an edge. Grayson Dubose, another transfer coming in from Lowville, 6'3", 6'4", long athletic kid. We're looking maybe can make a splash for us. Sophomore Will Petty's about 6'5". His dad was a great player at Cardinal Mooney back in the days, longtime coach there. He's getting better every single day. Kingston Powell, football player, 6'1", athlete, can get after it. Another kid, Dennis Clark, was an outstanding player on the football field. Just a freaky athlete, best athlete in the school. Get a number of Division I looks for football. Very smooth basketball player. Any one of these guys can break through and be big-time players for us. I think I've pretty much nailed our whole team there.
I love the brand of Mooney basketball too. It's been a toughness brand that you've instilled to these guys, and it's carried over from all kinds of different classes. Does the playbook widen, or does everything get a little more basic when you have as many senior leaders as you do this year?
So it definitely widens. We weren't able to do as much as we did last year as we did the previous 2 years because we were so inexperienced. So it definitely widens. Having everybody with you all summer definitely helps with that. We're able to install a lot of stuff and do a lot with that. But honestly, I think coaches overcomplicate things way too much, especially in the game of basketball. We know who our playmakers are. We know who our shooters are. We know what we do well. So, as far as the playbook's concerned, we like to keep that for situational stuff, for dead ball situations at a timeout, or if we just want to isolate a certain player and get them a shot. Other than that, we want to play fast. We want to get the game going up and down. And if we ever feel like we're in a game where we're outmatched athletically, then we know how to slow the game down. These kids know how to do it. They're very patient. And what I think our staff does a very good job of making our kids understand that, we may have some guys that are more talented than others, but their importance on the team isn't any different. Their role might be to score. Your role might not be that. We get them to understand that winning is the most important thing, and whatever you have to do to win, our guys are willing to do that.
Perfect segue right into your staff. I want to give you the chance to highlight the coaching staff that you've put together and the people that are putting in the work to make sure this program is as good as it is.
I'll start from the bottom up, kind of like Coach Beanie did before me. Our head freshman coach, Johnny Mikos, is back for his third year. He was a former player of mine, understands what we do through and through. We added another coach that's going to help Johnny on the freshman staff, Jason Pangio. He has about 25 years of basketball experience. They do a great job instilling our fundamentals and really just teaching our system. I always tell Johnny, I don't really care what our freshman record is every year, just as long as they understand what we do. Coincidentally, they win 16 games, 17 games every season. My head JV coach is Jabri Carter. He's coached the JV team. I think this is his fourth year doing it. Jerron Howe assists him, and this is his fifth year on staff. And our JV and varsity staff kind of like intermix. Jabri handles coaching the post players. Jerron handles the wings. They do a tremendous job with that, and they put in a lot of hours when it's not on the schedule in the off season, the summer, the springtime, the fall, before school. They do a tremendous job with that. Ralph Naples and Jeff Shaheen are back. Ralph has been with me. This is his 8th year. Jeff is going into his 5th year. They did a tremendous job. They handle scouting, preparation. Jeff and Ralph also handle our guards and whatnot in practice. Again, these guys put in an enormous amount of time after hours, stuff that I don't even know about. I honestly believe, if you look at the numbers and you look at like staffs that have been together for long around the area and the success, I don't think there's a better staff in this area than what I have. I'm very lucky to have these guys. I gotta mention my wife. She does a ton with our social media stuff and fundraising. There's a lot of stuff. Like we have a parent meeting Thursday. She organizes that and talks about the fundraising 50-50. I honestly couldn't do it without her because I just don't want to deal with any of that stuff. My staff, my family, they make it very easy for me to focus on the basketball and the day-to-day operations. And I can't tell you how key that is. Anytime like there's a younger coach that asks me what are key, you got to have a good staff you trust. You got to have support at home with your family. And I definitely have that.
Coach, the last question I have for you, and it's the running theme this year. I'm asking all coaches. The love of the game is what unites us all every season, whether we're on the sidelines, on the floor, in the press box, doesn't matter. Where'd the love for the game of basketball start for you? Do you have a moment in time or a time frame?
I honestly tell this to everybody. For me, it's my parents in everything I do. They really instilled like work ethic with me in competition. My father would never allow me to come home or like walk in the house if I was ever outworked by somebody. Somebody might be better than me, but there was a value placed on work and work ethic. And then I just was geared toward basketball. I grew up in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, and Michael Jordan was the best player. And I loved watching him compete and just how competitive he was. And I think me and my brother were kind of drawn toward that. We had an uncle that was in the Hall of Fame in high school. He was a great basketball player. I think we were kind of in tune with that. But I like all sports, honestly. I just love the game and the teamwork of basketball and the different roles you can play. And just in grade school and in a young age, I just kind of was gripped to that. And I had a lot of friends that were into basketball. I mean, the two kids I was best friends with are some of my best friends in grade school. We were on the same team through high school, and we started in the 5th grade together, and we started in the 12th grade together, and that just kind of stuck with me. And I had good coaches. I had great coaches from grade school to high school to college. I mean, my high school coach is going to be in the High School Hall of Fame. My college coach was the all-time winningest coach in college. I was very blessed with that. So they all played a big role, but where it started was with my parents. I was lucky with that.
Coach, we appreciate your time. We're so excited for the basketball season. We can't wait to see you out there. I think I'm actually scheduled to be at your first game of the year at home on that first Friday. So we can't wait to be out there with you. Hopefully this 1:45 time slot gives you good luck in the first game.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see you real soon.
So, Anthony, what size – you're coming to the first game. What size shirt you wear? We got to get you some Mooney gear, man.
Got to get it. I'm a medium, Coach.
Medium. Ty, what size?
Give me an XL, Coach.
So I want to see that at 1:45 slot. Mooney basketball.
Well,
okay, we'll do it, Coach.
We've always said, get us gear, and
we're shameless. We'll wear gear all the time.
No doubt. We always love talking to you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.